we could have the biggest lightweight fight in UFC history. On February 11th, 2023, UFC 284 will be held in Perth, Australia, and the main event is Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski. Islam Makhachev, the man who has only one loss in the UFC, he is arguably the best lightweight in MMA and is known as Khabib's prodigy. He will look for his first title defense against Alexander Volkanovski. Islam Makhachev is on a 11 fight win streak, with his last performance being his toughest challenge in the UFC against Charles Oliveira, who he beat in the second round with ease. Has another challenge awaiting ahead of him. Islam Makhachev has been dominant in his last 11 wins, and his stats justify him being the champion. Islam Makhachev has the best wrestling in the UFC with a 3.42 takedown average per 15 minutes and an 88% takedown defense. Islam showed his striking against Oliveira and proved to people that he is much more than just a wrestler. He showed Oliveira different combinations, different strikes, and was defensively striking, being cautious of Oliveira's striking, and Islam ended up dropping Oliveira with the right hand and finishing him off with a triangle choke. Islam has insane power, strength, and his fighting IQ is incredible. However, his next challenger is another man who you could arguably say is his next biggest challenge of his career, Alexander Volkanovski. Volkanovski is on a 22 fight win streak, with his last win against Max Holloway, who he absolutely destroyed, and proved to MMA fans that he is indeed the greatest UFC featherweight fighter of all time. Volkanovski has great wins over Max Holloway, who he beat 3 times, the Korean Zombie, Brian Ortega, Jose Aldo, and Chad Mendez. Volkanovski has great kickboxing, pure technical strikes, and has arguably the best feint work in the UFC. Volkanovski lands 6.79 significant strikes per minute, which is really high, and has a striking accuracy of 57%. There is no doubt Volkanovski has amazing striking. The question comes to his grappling and his wrestling defense. Volkanovski has shown that he is vulnerable and can be dropped and submitted. We see this in the Brian Ortega fight, where Brian Ortega dropped Volk and then put Volk in a guillotine choke, where Volk became really close to tapping. Volk has a 73% takedown defense and has a 36% takedown accuracy. This fight will be interesting to see and should be action-packed. Islam Makhachev is a minus 400 favorite and Volkanovski is a plus 300 favorite according to OddsShark. Islam Makhachev is the supposed favorite because of his wrestling, size, and power compared to Volkanovski. However, Volkanovski is short, and it is harder to take someone down when they are shorter, and Volkanovski has great striking. So he could give Islam a lot of problems if Islam cannot take down Volkanovski. Islam and Volkanovski have insane cardio, so both fighters will be putting out a lot of volume. Whether it is strikes or the number of takedowns, it will be a lot. If I had to predict this fight, I think I would choose Islam Makhachev to win by decision. I think this will be a close fight, but I think Islam Makhachev will use his grappling early and will have too much power and strength for Volkanovski. Islam Makhachev has great weight distribution and allows no distance for him to be caught in a submission or allow any strikes to hit him. I think Volkanovski will last on the feet, but once it hits the canvas, he will be drained from the overwhelming pressure from Islam. Islam Makhachev is my pick to win, and I think this will lead him to the path of being one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you like it. See you in the next one.